Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's Periscope from the author, Ron Karr, of Lead, Sell, or Get Out of the Way. How agendas are going to outsell scripts any time of the day. And now what I just want to do is we welcome you all to this session. Please tell me who is here. And I just want to basically get this program onto Facebook and to LinkedIn so we can get more people joining our community today. Ken Williams and Mike Rayburn, how you doing? Thank you for joining us today as we get going on this. Let me go into Facebook right here, post this on Facebook. There we go. Boom. That is posted. One more thing onto LinkedIn, and we're going to post this here. Boom. And we're done on that, and now we're published. So we got people coming in. Yo, Mike Rayburn, right back at you. Okay, so let's get into it because I value your time. And three's Sam Audio, I think it is. I said it correctly. Hello. Good morning. It's 11:30 New York time. Doc joined us. Welcome. It's 8:30 if you're on the West Coast, and it's later on in the day. Remember, please give me those hearts. The hearts tell us if we're saying something that's valuable to you. And also, please share this. This is going to be a valuable message that's going to help all of you sell more in less time. And I'm so psyched about this message today because it's like one of my pet peeves. Again, the topic today is agendas versus scripts. Why agendas will outsell scripts any time of the day. Let me share this story with you. This was quite a few years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago. I was on a first-class ticket flying from Newark, New Jersey to a client that I visited 4 times a year in Tucson. While I was in the air, I received a message. Oh, actually, when I landed, because we didn't have cell phones at that time, I received a message that my uncle in San Diego went into the last stages of life with his bout with cancer. So I immediately called up my client in Tucson. He said, don't worry about it. Just give us a couple of hours and you can get on your way and do what you have to do. So now I had to rechange my flights. American Airlines, which was my #1 airline, I was executive platinum. I'm platinum for life. I called them up and I said, I need to go from Tucson to San Diego for a bereavement if they had a bereavement fare. The first thing they said to me was, we don't fly from Tucson to San Diego. I said, good, I get that. But you got to fly me home because I got to change my return. And I said, and I'm looking for a bereavement fare. Now remember, I'm executive platinum. I'm supposed to be one of their top customers. The first thing out of that customer service agent's mouth was that I did not qualify for a bereavement fare. I said, why is that? He said, because you were in an airplane when you got the call. If you got the call before you started your ticket, you would have qualified. I'm sitting there saying, are you kidding me? I'm being penalized because I'm on your airplane on a first-class ticket, and because the call came in when I was flying you, I am now penalized that the ticket started and I don't get to a bereavement fare. Well, obviously, that phone call didn't go well. He was hitting all my hot buttons at the wrong time. I'm getting upset. And basically, it just ended in a nasty environment for both of us. So now I had to call Southwest Airlines because I had to go from Tucson to San Diego. And I started the same conversation. I have an uncle who's going into the last phases of his life. I need a bereavement fare from Tucson to San Diego. The first statement out of Southwest Airlines' mouth, the agent, who I had no relationship with, was this. Sir, before we even get into the ticket, may I say on behalf of Southwest how upset we are that you have to fly under these trying circumstances, and we will do whatever we can to make things easier for you. And we don't have a bereavement fare simply because we have the lowest fares. Well, she could have charged me any amount of money and I would have paid it because of the empathy she had for me. After I got the phone call, I said, I wonder if that American Airlines agent was a rogue agent. What if they were just simply having a bad day. So I called back to see what would happen the second time. And what amazed me was that I got into the same exact argument, word for word, with a different person. It blew my mind. In fact, that person even went further to say, you know something? When I said, I really don't appreciate being treated like this as an executive platinum, his answer to me was, well, we don't appreciate you rewriting our fare codes. And, well, that obviously lit me off. Well, now, fast forward 6 months later, I'm flying to Hawaii with my family, in first class and on frequent flyer tickets. And I happen to be my daughter's sitting with my wife, my ex-wife at that time, and I was sitting next to this beautiful looking woman, and I asked her what she did for a living. And she said, well, I work for reservations in American Airlines in LA. And I said, oh boy, this is going to be a really good flight. So I started telling her the story about what happened, 6 months earlier, and she starts laughing. And I said, why are you laughing? And the answer was simply, you don't have an idea of what was happening. You see, the first agent, all they did was simply write down the notes of what you did, or what you talked about, and the second agent was reading them from the script and basically repeated the arguments to you. And I'm going, is that really customer service? We can teach anybody to read scripts on a screen. And I understand why scripts are important, because we want to have excellence. We want to be able to repeat it. But scripts take away a couple of important things that are so critical at a point of influence. When you're reading from a script, you tend not to be listening to the words and statements your customers are making. Therefore, you're not responding to what they're saying because you're so interested in saying the next thing that's on that piece of paper. And when a customer does not feel that you're listening to them, no matter what you're saying to them, they automatically stop the conversation in their mind with you. It's over. Regardless, even if they're talking to you, it is simply over. If you would agree with me on that, just show me those hearts. Tell me if you can relate to what I've been talking about so far. So let me tell you why agendas are so important. Agendas help you understand what you want to accomplish in that point of influence. Agendas are all about a goal. What do you want to achieve? And then you're probably going to map out a couple of key questions of where the customer is going and what they're trying to accomplish. But then in the agenda, you need to leave time to remove the script away and listen to what they are saying. So then you can ask follow-up questions. A follow-up question of what somebody is saying is so critical because at that moment it proves to them that you're listening to them and you have their attention. And most importantly, the information you get from the follow-up questions gives you the context on how to present your solution so it will be viewed as being extremely valuable by the person on the other end of the phone. If you understand that and agree with that, give me some hearts also. There's a book called The Science of Getting Rich. It was written by a gentleman by the name of Wallace Waddle. Say that name pretty fast. You can actually download this PDF on the computer for free. But he talked about in 1913 about why the rich industrialists got so rich and made more money than anybody else ever did, like the other people inhabiting the earth, most of us. And he said that one of the aspects that the barons live by is that they took a thought and formless substance and turned it into something. A thought and formless substance is a big idea. Did you ever drive down the street where it was barren, there was just trees, and you might have said, this would be a great place to build a convention center for the city because we just don't have one. Many people will have that kind of a thought, but most people will keep on driving because it's too big a thought and they have no idea how to do it. But he found out that the barons at that time who made the money, they wouldn't let the fact that they didn't have the answer stop them. They would keep that thought and formless substance in their mind and their conscious mind. And as they kept thinking about it, it would start to take shape. Then they'd start having some ideas. They'd get an architect to come in. The architect would come in and would start putting their ideas into pictures onto a diagram. Then they start calling it contractors and subcontractors. And then you start talking about materials. And before you know it, that building is built. Well, this is how I attack any kind of conversation of influence, whether it's a sales call, trying to speak to a boss, trying to speak to a significant other, or whatever. I look at it as a thought and formless substance, meaning I have an idea of the type of relationship I want to have with a customer when I go into that meeting. I have an idea of what I want to sell them. But I don't have the answer at that given moment as to exactly how I'm going to present it because I didn't have the conversation yet. Influence is a two-way street. It's a collaboration. So I go into the conversation without the answers. I go in with the goal. I ask the question of where they're trying to get to. I ask the follow-up questions. I listen. I show that I have empathy. And then I present the right combination to that client or to the person I'm trying to influence in context to what's important to them. And more often than not, we get the deal then. And we get a bigger deal than we ever thought was possible. So stop going into your calls with your customers trying to figure out you have to have the idea of what they need and what that deal is going to look like. You haven't even spoken to them yet. It is a two-way street. So put the scripts away, because scripts do not allow you to listen to your customers. You know, one of the things we found out from research, because we do a lot of assessments of leaders and salespeople, and what's becoming really apparent right now is that one of the traits of effective leaders and effective salespeople, and I say leaders because leaders have to be salespeople. You have to engage your troops and sell them on the vision of where you want to go. And you also have to sell your customers. CEOs are often the best salespeople of the organizations. Okay? So the biggest trait that we have found out that we look for in top performers is empathy. People want to feel like you understand their situation. And if you cannot show empathy by asking questions and agreeing or disagreeing and showing them that you understand exactly what they're dealing with and how they're feeling, you're not ready to go to the step of presentation of solution. You're not. Because they're not going to buy it. Empathy is extremely important for people to buy in and someone to sit there and put their guard down, the guard that they have up and saying, oh my God, it's about to, sell me something. My BS monitor is up. How do you put it down? You put it down by making somebody feel at ease, by letting them understand that you understand what they're going through. You're here to find out more about it, and together you're going to find a solution that's going to help them achieve their results and solve some problems. So empathy, my friends, is the name of the game. So use agendas versus scripts. Have a goal in mind. Have the questions you want to ask. But when you ask them, then forget about the next question. Listen to the results. Show me the hearts if you're agreeing with this. Listen to the results and then present in the context that shows empathy. And I guarantee you two things will happen. Number one, you're going to sell more in less time. And number two, you're going to close more deals than you ever thought was possible. This is today's Periscope. We are going to put it back on social media. You can replay this for 24 hours. Please swipe left and to the right if it's an iPhone, to the top if it's a Droid. Swipe and share with as many people as you can. I have such a passion for this. We need to get the word out to people to stop wasting people's times with their scripts and with their own ideas of what they need to do. Let's have an agenda as to how we're going to help people, and let's go make it happen. I so appreciate you taking your time to spend with me today. I wish you all the best today. Let's go out and get a new deal and good selling and good leading to all of you. This is Ron Karr, author of the CEO Bestselling Book Lead, Sell, or Get Out of the Way. And Ken Williams, thank you so much. Cheers back to you. Take care.